Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed a workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I'm here to say you can stop the mental madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, you have to ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, permanent weight loss coach from hpwl.co. This is Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear how to stop the mental madness, love your body, trust your food decisions so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. I know you want to lose weight. I know you want to lose weight more than anything. Maybe bathing suit season is coming up. Maybe you saw a photo of yourself from this weekend or whatever that is triggering you and making you feel like that's it. I look bad. I hate the way I look. I don't want to feel uncomfortable every single day anymore. It's affecting my confidence. I know, I know how hurtful and upsetting and angering it is to always try and do the right thing and to have been dieting probably your entire life or for a very long time and to just still never feel like it's enough. I know what it's like to not be able to stay consistent for more than a couple days in a row. I know what it's like to binge, and while you're binging, and even though it's feeling so good as the food is going down, to hear yourself saying you shouldn't be doing this, or okay, you can have one, or oh, F it, it's late, or I'm not going to be able to do it anyway, so let me just do this now. I know all of the aggravation of it. I dieted since I was 8 years old, and for the record, I am extremely anti-diet. It took me a long time to get that, but I'm going to tell you why I'm anti-diet today. And before I get into that, if we haven't met yet, my name is Leslie M. Thornton. I'm the CEO and founder of Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss. I am a TEDx speaker. I am a neurolinguistic programming trainer. I use everything that I know about behavior change and habit change for the betterment of health, for people's lives, for their happiness, for their personal development. I am a hypnotherapist. I'm a registered nurse by trade. I left nursing because I knew that I needed to tell the world what I learned when I discovered hypnosis. And my life's work has been about continuing to feel happier and healthier and just, helping people to find their passion and purpose in life and do it without diet mentality following them behind all the time. And I have a signature program. It's called the Fast Track to Freedom program. It's our proven program that helps you to get out of diet mentality for good and actually, live your life and achieve permanent weight loss and learn how to, not stress eat, and how to not only lose the weight, but keep it off permanently using our HEAL method, which I will refer to today. If you have not seen yet my new Masterclass, just type Masterclass below this video. If you're watching live in our Facebook group, if you're listening on the podcast, join our Facebook group. I record our podcasts live in our Facebook group weekly and have special guests and all these other kinds of special offers. Our ebook is in there. Everything's in the Facebook group. So join. So it's called the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Facebook community, or Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss community group is what it's called on Facebook. Yes. And then if you're listening on the podcast, you can get that masterclass by texting the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483. And I know our podcast has that number listed again as you're going. It's in the details. It's everywhere. So all here to support you. I have been in massive amounts of creation mode and service and just so much desire to impact more people. So lots of things that I've been putting out there for you over the last few years. All right, so I'm anti-diet, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm so anti-diet. The restricting, the limiting, the perfectionism of trying to do every single thing right, of there being no room to make mistakes, no room for there to be a human being, for there to be no room for having your own authentic desires or your own truth. I know it's disempowering to you. It also, dieting forces you to stop trusting yourself. It forces you to not trust your body. It definitely forces you to not trust your own food decisions, and overall leaves people in a very disempowered state. It leaves you feeling like I'm not good enough, like a failure. It leads you to, just continue to engage in all the negative self talk and mental madness that we know that lingers around with diet mentality. I have learned that even though eating habits and behaviors can feel like addictive habits or behaviors, I used to believe with 100% certainty I was a food addict. And when left to my own devices, I was in the cabinets eating as much sugar as I could find. And despite my best efforts to make sure I never had those foods and lock cabinets up and never bring any of that food into the house because I'm going to eat all of it if it's here, I tried so hard to restrain it. I knew all the science behind it and how these foods were destroying my health and my energy and my motivation. And all I wanted was health and energy and motivation. I had only the best desires in mind for myself, and yet I couldn't follow it after a while. I was able to be perfect, but then I eventually would fail and gain all the weight back with a vengeance. I ended up binge eating. I would have been someone who was purging if I was successful doing it. I totally was in the trap in a very deep way. And so I know how much it really feels like it's an addiction. I'm just interested in addiction in general and have been for over a decade of my career. And I've learned that food addiction, quote unquote, because you can't actually be addicted to something that you need to survive, is different than alcohol and drug addiction, which can actually kill you. Okay, so if you identify as a food addict or a sugar addict, or I can't control myself, you have these kinds of binges when you're not having a good streak with your eating, I want to let you know that it's not an addiction problem. It's not a brain problem. I was brainwashed into believing that it was a brain problem and it was a me problem, and it really messed me up. So if anybody is in that situation, I just want to let you know my heart is with you. I want to let you know also there is a way out of that. It's pain. There is a way out of that pain. The contrast. So again, with people who identify as food addicts, out of control, this type of thing, we actually need something way different than what alcoholics and drug addicts need to end our negative relationship with food, to end our disordered eating habits and patterns, whether it's restriction or overeating. We actually need empowerment. We need to learn how to trust ourselves. We need to learn how to not hit the panic button if you eat a cupcake, which, by the way, I just ate a mini cupcake before this session because I'm a normal eater now and I have what I want. And there was a time when I would have eaten that mini cupcake and I would have lost my marbles, if we're going to be politically correct, for the rest of the day, if not for several days after, because I ruined my diet. And yeah, so diet mentality, it really programs you to not be confident about yourself, to not trust yourself, your food decisions, etc. So we need to actually support you in programming yourself to trust yourself, to make empowered choices. Again, with alcoholics, drug addicts, their personalities that lead them to those addictions are different. They need to be told that they can never have it again. They need to go into black and white thinking. Because otherwise they will die. Okay, so food is a different animal. Food is a different animal. We got to tackle it a different way. And again, yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's worth it. Okay. So I am anti diet. I am 100% for your empowerment, making empowered choices, of your learning to trust yourself, trust your food decisions, of your having the best health and energy, vitality, energy, best life you could ever imagine. And a hard truth that I want to express is that if I did not heal my relationship with food, because the food issue is actually an indicator of a lot of other internal issues, if you want to call them that, or opportunities to heal underneath the surface. A lot more, a lot more. Okay, so this is not a willpower thing. If you have a weight issue for a very long time, this is not yeah, it's not a willpower thing. There's nothing wrong with you. There is not a difference between you and somebody else when it comes to your ability to do it, to lose weight. Like, you absolutely are capable, but consider that the reason that you haven't, there's a few reasons. But number one, if you actually don't believe that you are capable, then you won't be able to do it. So Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss is the name of my company, and hypnosis was the first avenue that I found that showed me that this was a deeper issue. It was what showed me and led me to all of my studies about the unconscious mind and behavior change and habit change and what transformation actually is. And I went from thinking this was a plague, quote unquote, that I was going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, to realizing, like, oh no, if I just learn how to master it and put these pieces together, I can be like everybody else. Like, what? That's the best news I could have ever received. And so I absolutely love introducing people to hypnosis to actually relax the mind and yeah, be able to start focusing on what you want and directly get to where you need to go. And that's the first part of my HEAL method. So HEAL stands for different things. So H is hypnosis, and I actually offer hypnosis for free monthly. So just if you're in the community group, just type hypnosis below, and I'll make sure that you get the link to join our next free healthy hypnosis hour. I educate about what hypnosis is and what it isn't and how it works, and debunk any myths about it, and then do a mini hypnosis session where people after the session are messaging me saying the potato chips aren't calling my name today. I didn't need my creamer in my coffee this morning. I chose my healthy juice that I know I like to drink in the morning rather than my bacon, egg, and cheese. Okay, so it's very powerful, and most of the time you need to pay for hypnosis sessions, and I give the hypnosis away for free. And the reason why is because on my journey, I actually also discovered that hypnosis was not the only answer, that it is false advertisement that if you do hypnosis that you will forever be cured from a lifetime of dieting and of all of your disordered eating habits for the rest of your life. And I learned that through my offering hypnosis sessions, like you would go to any hypnotherapist and maybe buy a package of sessions, and then checking in with clients and finding that they were not having long-term success and we're back to the diet again. I also found on my journey that while hypnosis absolutely gave me the awareness that it was a deeper issue and that it was more a mind issue than it was a me issue, that I could actually change through a modality like hypnosis. I also found myself back on a very restrictive diet that brought in the fear thoughts that made me believe that something was wrong with me. And while it was very effective because I was literally scared to eat sugar, and it was extremely painful to have to get out of that. And when I say extremely painful, I really mean it was like probably the most terrible thing that I've had to endure in my life. So another reason I'm anti-diet is because the more that you know, education wise, about food and weight, and the more that the more that kind of fear-based thinking is instilled in you about what's going to happen if you don't lose weight. You are going to get diseases, you're going to get cancer, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Like, the people that end up finding hypnosis are the people who are too stuck in the fear. All right. So if you are scared about getting diabetes, you are scared about dying early, you are scared about leaving your family, you are scared about looking bad, right? Just even socially, you are scared about no one ever loving you for a relationship if you don't lose weight, and feeling inadequate the way that you are. And I need to do this in order to fill in the blank. I need to lose weight in order to get my promotion. I need to lose weight in order to. No, stop doing that. There is, with motivation, there is a place for having a healthy awareness of what consequences can be. And for certain people that, again, usually find this program, it gets to an unhealthy level of fear. And the food addiction program that I found myself in got me into an extremely unhealthy place when it came to fear-based thinking that trapped me into feeling like if I ate a mini cupcake, that the world was going to fall apart. Like, worst case scenario thoughts, and like, just mentally and emotionally feeling extremely unstable. Hopefully you have not been that far into that trench, but it also, my learning how to get out of that trench has equipped me to feel very confident in helping absolutely anybody in recovery from diet mentality and getting onto a pathway of permanent food freedom and a pathway of ultimate health and happiness, well-being. And full circle, again, I had an intuition, and you can look for yourself if this resonates with you, that if I did not heal my food stuff, I was never going to be able to live my most authentic, happiest, healthiest life. We attract who we are, right? So life is all about relationships. We are in relationship with each other right now during this podcast. I'm in relationship with this chair that I'm sitting on. I am in relationship, right? Just everything is relationships. Obviously, your relationships with people, work, blah, blah, blah. Like, if we don't master our relationship with our inner self talk, right, with ourselves, you are going to attract negativity and not the best in your life. Okay, you get what you think. And if your thinking is not great, I want to say shitty, so I'm saying it, then our results will be subpar. All right, so I wasn't attracting healthy relationships in my life, and I can see a direct correlation with why I stayed in those unhealthy relationships, in that I was in an unhealthy relationship with myself. I didn't even know that for myself, but my food issue was what was kind of trying to call to me to tell me that there was an issue. And so I was a chronic dieter trying to solve it with something that wasn't actually a solution, because it's deeper, it's way deeper. And it can be the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work you can do. I am always on this path. I am constantly getting more healthy inside of my internal self. There's always more to go, always more to go. Like, I am still getting healthier. I am still losing weight. And not because of dieting and not because of, but it's because of my continued, just mastery with relationships within me, like I said, with the world, with the universe, with spirit, God, universe, like however you look at it. Like, the deeper it goes, the deeper it goes. And it's like this journey is truly life journey, but this weight loss journey is truly all about love. It's all about self-love. And the more you love yourself, the better decisions you make. And it's, again, it's so beautiful. And the commitment to yourself in doing that is beyond. It's so awesome. I love it so much. It's not always easy at all. But the alternative of banging your head over and over again, doing diet after diet and still obsessing about it and having, quick highs of 20 pounds off and very low lows of when that weight gets put back on, like that sucks to me. That sucks. And yeah, and it's temporary and it sucks. There's no other way to say it. So I have clients who are in very healthy marriages, and so I'm so happy that they are, and yet they know that their marriages could be way healthier and way happier, more intimate, more fun. They could create more together once they actually take this on for themselves. I have clients who have not been successful in relationship and right are doing the work to attract the right relationship. I myself am in now a very beautiful, happy, healthy relationship, and it was not going to be that way. Not left to my own devices or whatever. I was not given education about how to actually end up in a really happy relationship. I think a lot of people might be able to relate to that. Some people might quote unquote get lucky. But it's all based on our programming and what we saw and what we learned. And if we don't know how to get food freedom, if we don't know how to be in a happy, healthy relationship, again, like you can learn. And that's like my whole thing is like just the empowerment, especially of women, of like, you literally can have anything. But you do have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take feedback and hear some things that you may not want to hear in order to get where you want to go. The amount of times that in my own coaching and development, I have wanted to curse my coach out and say, you have to be wrong. And you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. It's a lot, but I love myself enough to face those discomforts and to have those hard conversations so I can get the result. Okay. Even in my spreading this mission, like I have to turn myself inside and out to get myself to be the type of leader I need to be. I face, one of human beings' main fears is rejection, right? So if you're dating or whatever, just rejection is major, right? It's painful, it's emotional. We all feel a lot. And so a lot of my clients will also not want to date because they don't want to experience that rejection. They may not think that that's the reason why, but they'll be like, oh, I need to lose weight so I can date. But it's like, I'm really just wanting to make sure that I don't feel the pain of rejection. It's so innocent, and like our unconscious mind is designed to keep you safe. And so rejection feels like the most unsafe thing. Again, in order for me to carry out this mission, I could get emotional about it. I am. Like the amount of rejection, right, of my own stuff that I need to face, but then also my own limiting beliefs and my own like how to help people the best with the most integrity possible, and like making mistakes and having to fix those mistakes and like really mastering the learning mentality like for the greater good it's wild. Okay, but it's like, and I am so committed to living my most authentic, happiest, healthiest life, and I will never stop. I can't stop. It's been given to me, right? And I feel very blessed. I know some people don't feel like they have a calling. This is my calling. And yeah, so passionate about it. And I want you to know you can have absolutely anything you want to. Again, you have to do what works to get there, right? You have to make a change. You have to ask for help. You have to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to invest in you. All right. For my clients, it's just time and time again. It's like they put themselves on the back burner for so long, especially as women, right? Your kids come first, your husband comes first, your job comes first, your parents come first, right? And it's like there is something so magical that happens when you put yourself first. And sometimes the way to do that is to actually pay, right? It's the same as like if you went to college, okay, you paid for that education, you became different, right? I know for myself, like it's less about, there's something about education that just expands your energy. And I know I started going for my master's degree and then I switched because I didn't want to be a nurse practitioner. I didn't want to work with medications. I wanted to work with positive psychology and the unconscious mind. And I'm obsessed with coaching. I'm obsessed with sports. Okay. And like a coach is a coach is a coach. Like I really like appreciate coaching and teams, and it's just like I just happen to want to coach you in getting your dreams. Okay, and I am so equipped to help you get there. It's crazy. I have so much education. I've been around so many coaches, like thousands and thousands of coaches. My education is the deepest level of understanding how the unconscious mind works as you can get. I have trained my brain to see every human being not for what you're saying, but for how your brain is receiving and processing. So I uniquely am giving you specifically what would be the action for you to take right now to get you to your next level. And then it's the next level, and it's the next level, and then it's the next level. I love watching and observing, and there is nothing I want than for people to have everything they want. Like everything can be solved through communication and coaching and action and whatever. So, but it's a two-way street. So, obviously, if the player on a basketball team wasn't going to play the game, we could never win, right? So, I'm going to coach the crap out of you and you're going to hear it and maybe not like me for it sometimes. And then you're going to play the game, which is your life, which is the actions you're taking in between your practices. And it's just the best. It's the best, best, best. Okay. What do I want to say next? Okay, so H for that heal part of the first method, free hypnosis sessions monthly. Monthly. The second thing when after the food addiction program I had to learn was emotional mastery. All right? Like when I ate a cupcake and I had like World War III of panic button level anxiety going off in my body because I failed again and I couldn't stay consistent again, I needed to learn how to move past those very hard emotions without a diet. Because the normal is that when you feel those big emotions after you make a mistake with your eating, you immediately go to where's the diet? And that is a band aid fix. That is not the internal work. It will temporarily make you feel good and have you be on a high when you can put a string of days together and start feeling your pants get looser. And then another emotion happens and now you're eating again and you're right back to it. Why? Because you never mastered the emotionality that drove you to make that decision in the first place. So I teach my clients how to actually move through those emotions powerfully, feel your feelings, and make decisions afterwards. It's vital, not only for permanent weight loss, but for life mastery, okay? Life satisfaction. If you can't handle big emotions, life's going to be hard and you're also going to live a smaller life than what you are capable of living. You are capable of living a huge life, as big as you want. And I know for some people, it's like, I don't want a huge life, okay? Like, depending on what chapter of life that you're in, you may not want it to be that huge. You may want it to be super peaceful and just like enjoy retirement or enjoy your family. And most of my clients are kind of menopausal age. I can help anybody at any age. And I've had people as young as, I think, 23 and as old as, I actually think I had a 90-year-old once. There's a woman in my program who's 84. Shout out to her. But I do believe there was one person who was 90 that I coached at one point. Anyway, can't remember. But yeah, so that menopausal age is a very interesting age. A lot of things shift And a lot of times we blame our hormones on it and our bodies and our aging on it. I also want to flip that on its head a little. While those things, there's certain things you can't control, there's also a lot of like what it means to kind of get into that space in your life where your kids are grown and it is time to focus on you and look at like, wow, okay, so I'm getting up there in age and how do I want to live my life? Like, do I actually want to learn how to enjoy my food and enjoy the people around me and like get out of diet mentality and not focus on just my vanity? Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, again, and this brings us to the third step of the HEAL method, which is authentic self, okay? Of understanding authentically what you want, okay? Who you are. There is a difference between the panic thought saying what I want is weight loss and your authentic self saying, I want weight loss. Okay. There's a difference in energy. Your authentic self is what you want when you feel completely at peace and you aren't stressed or worried about anything. Your authentic self is coming from this like heartfelt desire. Like, this is a deep desire I have. It feels like a slight pull, like it feels like a, instead of like a panic button, need to do this or else something bad's going to happen. That's not sustainable. Okay, so we support you in finding your authentic desire. And if your authentic desire is to lose weight, then we're going to support you in an action plan that you design, not what I design, because that won't work. It has to be what you design to get where you want to go. In my accelerator program, I'm actually rolling this out with them this week, and I'm super excited for them to have their own, action plan based on their authentic weight loss desire for them to support them in losing at least 20 pounds in 6 months. So I'm excited for that. And then, and then the L for the HEAL method is learning lasting self-care. Okay, so the way that we will take care of ourselves for the rest of our life is when you learn how to put yourself first over and over again. And when you make sure that your days are filled with the activities that are going to support you in feeling happy, that also leads to you feeling healthy and losing weight if that is something that you care about. Yeah. And again, the work is just getting more beautiful all the time. I'm so thankful. I am a woman of faith, and while this journey has been so hard, in so many ways, but again, it's the woman that I've been invited to become and continue to invite to become. That makes it worth it, and being able to see the progress and trusting the whole thing along the way. But then, just also being given exactly what I need to be given at the right time to help who I need to help in this moment. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous thing. So I would love to hear from you on what is resonating with you about this message, whether you're in the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss Facebook community group watching this live or later on the replay. Just type in the chat, like, what are you getting from this? The more you share, it's not even for me or for the group. Like, if you just like take the time to use the comment box and like actually share what you're getting from this episode from your heart, it actually does yourself a huge, tremendous service, because it starts the process of transformation by externally saying what's there for you. So I invite you to do that. And if you are a podcast listener, make sure you get the training. Again, you text the word hypnosis to 1-855-232-5483. And even if you're on the Facebook group, you can type that in or put that in your phone as well, and you'll get access to the free training. Also, as soon as you join the group, the Facebook group, as you have to answer those the 3 questions we asked in order to get into the group. And once you get into the group, there'll be a welcome message that you'll be tagged in, and the link to get that masterclass is there. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. This Heal Method Masterclass is changing people's lives. I already spoke about this, but I'll keep saying it. First of all, I spent at least a month and a half making this masterclass. Full disclosure, I found out recently that I actually, for my whole life, have had a learning disorder, which I did not know. And this is what I mean about like being given all the right things at the right time. I have a reading comprehension learning disorder, and it's been interesting. It's been sobering. But one of the things that this learning disability created for me was not actually being able to like sit down, and like I physically could not actually create like words to put into like, how can I say this? Maybe my learning disability is coming up right now. Actually, kind of. Inability to, like, some people are so good at being able to, like, for example, like make material, like teaching material, if you will. Okay. Like, I know that I can help anybody change. I'm very tactical with my learning, like even being a nurse. If I see someone do it and then I physically do it, I can do it, right? And I know some of you might be the same, but if I'm reading it, I can't do it. And I really mean that. I remember like in like just all growing up. So anyway, it's just been such a fascinating thing for me to realize. Because like just from like, I was in an advanced reading group too, as I learned how to read very young. And a thing with this learning disability is that these kids are often deemed as like gifted or, advanced educationally because we can figure out puzzles really well. So, and as a kid, which is wild, like my dad used to constantly talk about how good at puzzles I was at such a young age. Learning how to read is like solving a puzzle. So it was very easy for me to want to have that desire to solve a puzzle. But it has absolutely nothing to do with actually being able to comprehend what you're reading. So anyway, it's just like the whole kind of world got, put upside down or whatever in, seeing about my whole journey. But anyway, I wasted tons of money in my, inability to actually sit down and create anything. So hiring lots of people to be able to do those things for me, which was the right and empowering choice for me at the time. I had at one point a team of 12 people for this company, and currently it is a team of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And primarily it's me now, like when it comes to like client stuff and anyway, but I was paying a very large amount of payroll to all these people to help us, help you. And that was so good, but it was because I couldn't do it myself because I couldn't sit down and I couldn't figure things out, like because of the reading comprehension. Anyway, all that to say that it has been, I could get emotional and am, extremely challenging and painful. And I know so many like coaches can relate to this. when you know that you can help someone overcome something that was as painful as food addiction, um, and you know as much as I know about how to help yourself change it. And you have, um, and you talk to as many people as I talk to every week. And you just feel the pain that they're dealing with. And they're scared. They're scared to take another action. They're scared to invest in themselves. They're scared to um, take the risk. They're scared to change their life. They're scared to get out of their comfort zone. They're scared that it won't work for them. Like there's been so many diets they've done that haven't worked. Anyway, and and you can't communicate with them effectively enough on what's on the other side. You can't help them feel safe enough to move when you know their life would be forever changed if they did, and they would never regret their decision. It's so painful. It's really my belief that like health follows happiness. Um, and you're authentic, like life is giving you obstacles and like hardships, like your weight is actually just symbol of the fact that like your life is not as authentic as it can be or needs to be for you to live your best life and have your best health. And so it's like sometimes people will come to me and it's like they have the weight, like they got the diet stuff and then they're still with the weight, but like they hate where they live and they don't do any activities that they love and they're not social anymore, or their marriage is not happy and it's not healthy. Like you cannot take any of the spokes of your life out of your ability to like feel energized and back on track. And we also can't control how long that takes. We can't control like how long it might take for you to know for sure if your marriage is good or not good for you. It's a journey of discovery. It's right, like everything. Um, so it's again, that's the work of like doing all the things to, and not expecting a lack of challenge, but to face a challenge and say yes to, I'm going to live my most authentic life no matter what. Because is there anything else? If you're living any kind of lie, any kind of anything that's not you, it's gonna feel hard. It's gonna feel terrible. It's gonna feel painful. Um, anyway, even just doing a client retreat last week and client talking about, her marriage and, she's not in a financial spot to invest in herself right now. And just as she was sharing about it, it was like, I could just see that if I could just speak with her in coaching every single week, like we could transform her marriage so powerfully. Like the question of should I stay or should I go will go away, and it will be this like empowered journey of like, how can I actually be in my feminine more? How can I actually see past what my husband is saying and give what he's actually wanting to him that would not only change what he's saying that's upsetting me, but also change my experience, my business, my work. Like, anyway, it's just like I for myself was like not doing well with relationship stuff. And for me, when it comes to that, like I I am a human also, and I also have debt. um, and for this one coach who I knew had the answers for me that was going to change the dynamic of relationship for the rest of my life and my commitment to wanting a really happy and healthy forever marriage, I never even questioned. Her prices went up. She's expensive to work with, like whatever. I did not care. Like it was like, nope, like I don't care because that is so in alignment with where I want to go. And I don't know of any other avenue that's going to get me there as powerfully as this. I trust this woman is going to get me where I need to go. So, like, just don't show me the credit card statement and it's going to happen. Like, and I just wish more people love themselves as much as that. Whew. Just realizing how much like I do love myself like that. I really believe that like whatever your belief system is, like the universe is kind. I really believe that God or the universe wants you to be happy. And I believe that regardless of what any bank account statement says or anything, that like you will be cared for if you take the actions towards loving yourself the most. um and anyway, yeah. So, um spent a month and a half creating this masterclass, which with the learning disability, that's why it took me that long. And I still needed some help with it to like basically I've done this podcast since 2020. So on year 4 now, over 240 episodes, almost 250. And I was challenged to put everything from 250 episodes into one 2.5 hour, no, 2 hour, it's an hour and 45 minutes masterclass. The masterclass is called How I Lost Weight Permanently and Stopped Stress Eating Without Dieting or Excessive Exercise. I have a client who just finished our program, and she was gracious enough to watch the masterclass and give me feedback after it was created. And she said, Leslie, when I signed up for this program, I was in such desperation. I was going to do anything no matter what. She's like, she made a good decision because I really helped her to get where she needed to go. But she said, if I had seen this masterclass before I started, I would have been 75% more sure about my decision than I was when I actually just dove in and did it. I had a brand new client who she actually didn't have a chance to watch the masterclass. It's now part of our process that you watch this masterclass first so that you can feel really confident and like understood about your issue prior to talking with me. But yeah, she, for whatever reason, she didn't see that first prior to getting on the call. She enrolled in the program and then she started having doubts. Can be normal. I gave her the master class to watch. She came back onto our coaching call the next day, like I would say 75% more confident that she did not make the wrong decision, that she actually was in the right place. It's a very good masterclass. And it's my intention that this masterclass helps millions of people. I'm sure by the time we get to that point, I'll probably have to make it even better. But I honestly was told by like a colleague that I really respect that she said it was a perfectly done masterclass that really showed my expertise in this. And I'm just so thankful that it exists. And I just want you to have it. I want you to have it regardless of what you do with it. I want you to have it, and it's not a sales tactic. If I want you to have it so that you can make an empowered choice for your future and your life and your health. If it feels aligned to you to do our program after you watch the masterclass, that's going to be you're going to know that. And then you can book a call and we can get started. but I've had people who have also watched it and they're just already making better decisions with their eating, etc., just from watching it. So anyway, please, if you could, please share it with somebody after you watch it if you love it. I don't want women to be dieting anymore like this. I want them to have everything we talked about. Trust themselves, trust their food decisions, make empowered choices, work on this work that really matters, continue to fall in love with themselves year after year and have life get better and richer and more beautiful every single year. So please don't hoard it for yourself. Please share it with someone you love or many women you love. If you're part of any groups, share it with the group. Be bold. All right. Be bold. Share it. Invite them into this group. Invite them to listen to this podcast. Like, the more that you share goodness with others, the more good comes back to you. So thank you for your support with this. If you haven't left a review on the podcast, please leave a review and a rating. It would mean the world to me. Like, it takes 2 seconds. I do it for other people as well. Trust me, I know how annoying it is when people ask for that, you call a number. It's like, if you want to stay on the phone for a brief survey, like, press 3. And you're like, nobody's got time for that. And I get it. I do try to make it a point to make time for that, though, because I know how much it means to me for you to take the time to do the same. So thank you. I love you. And I hope to see you really soon. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.